I'm not dead this week.
Aye. You're not working this week.
No, I was near dead. I had to go to the doctor's there during the week. It was that bad. I thought I wasn't going to make it. I felt so terrible.
Did you get a doctor's appointment?
I did.
They're rarer than fucking Oasis tickets.
I know. I did.
They're harder to get than Oasis tickets, I should say.
Something like that. So yeah. Thanks for winging it in your own last week.
Oh no. Put it like this. You find me, I'm in Edinburgh again. Back here. Start. I've done this is 2. I've worked all week. Start another one tomorrow. Finish it. I'm home for a couple of days, then back away again. It's just the time of the season, as you know. So anyway, it could be worse. I have a couple of friends who, by the way, I'll not name any names, but a couple of friends who haven't been well this week as well. So had to go and get bits and pieces done. So hopefully everybody's all right. Feeling good, all right.
Oh, anyway. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, just one of them things, you know. Aye, but I lovely group this week. Nice people, nice folk. Yeah, just nice. I had a really, really good time this week.
You do look a wee bit tired this week, to be honest.
Sure, we're all fucking knackered this time of the year. Got another month to go before it starts to slacking up.
Right. Okay.
You know. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And then of course we go to log in. Nothing but problems.
I know. I know. Paddling like mad at the other end. But we're here. We're on the alternative thing tonight. If you do say hello, we can see you and we can talk to you. So
we can still see. Message popped up here. Something about going live. So I've been busy all week. You know, and you know yourself. Whenever that's how key where we're at. You don't really finish when you're doing extendeds and stuff. You know, you're kind of always doing something. You know.
I know. But
even if it's eating dinner, you're always working. You know.
Well, we are here. Yeah. And we have a pretty good show tonight as well, don't we?
Well, we've got stuff lined up. There's a few things that happened in bits and pieces, and then I want to discuss. And think about this for a bit, right? This is don't be just dismissing this as this is what happens. But it's because I want to talk about what makes a really good whiskey bar, right? And components of what makes a good whiskey bar. We'll do it after the news, but we'll talk about what makes a good bar in general, and then what makes a good whiskey bar. Because there's people come out with it. I've asked a few people this week, and they've just said, "Oh, blah, blah." But I don't think there's any hard and fast rules. But just I'd be interested in people's opinion. But don't give them now. We'll get them later on, because we've a bit of news to talk about first. But just be interested to know what makes a good bar. Okay.
Yes, because all whiskey bars tend to be different, but people have their own preference when it comes to a kind of bar, whether it's a lounge or whether it's a traditional bar, or whether it's modern or old-fashioned.
Exactly.
So,
so we'll talk about that after we do a bit of news, because I'd just be interested in people's opinion, you know.
Okay.
Will we do a bit of news?
Yes.
Right, well, the first up, the DWD, the Dublin Whisky Distillers, they have just finished the Crowdcube crowdfunding, okay, where they were wanting to raise, I think it was, what was it, 100,000 or something like that. They ended up raising 433,000, €439.30. Who's investing 30 cents, like? But they've done this. And good on them. And apparently, so they're trying to raise £100,000 and they raised €433,000. Now, there's a few things about this, and you know me, I wish everybody all the best because I know a lot of people get it tough. But there's a few things about this. On the page, because they're offering up 6.26% equity in the firm, and we're looking at 150,000 for it. Okay. they end up getting the 433,000, and that works out that the company's worth just shy of 7 million.
Wow.
But, right, aye, wow. But they've sold 18,000 bottles.
That makes them very, very expensive bottles, surely, Marty.
Well, it's not the bottles, Justin. Right? Get this right, okay? This is the company. So the company's valued at basically what it sells and what it does and profits it makes, and confidence that people have in it. Now they put on it that Irish whiskey has a compound annual growth rate of 9.4%. But earlier on this week, Irish distillers, who are by far and away they just are Irish whiskey in the main part, they posted a growth of 1%. So, everybody, Jameson outsells everything else, and Irish distillers own Jameson. So that, I just don't really get. I mean, they put up here that, we were established in 1872. We aim to revive. No, you were established about 6 months ago. I mean, I know these Lazarus brands. This is what they do. They do the thing, and away they go. But to value a company at 7 million quid when it's sold 18,000 bottles. Now it says 18,000 bottles since first quarter of 2024. Okay, that's better, I suppose. But the original DWD didn't end well. Okay, it went belly up, mainly because of financial stuff. So when I see this, it's kind of like I don't really know what. I mean, if you invest at €8,500 in it, you've got a mixed case of DWD and Dublin owns Irish whiskey A3 print of the DWD 1920s advertising poster and 20% discount for 2 years. Okay, it's not much, but for investing €8,500. Again, it all goes well for them, but it just doesn't. At a time when you're not 18,000 bottles is not a huge amount of stuff.
Do you think it'll last the downturn?
Well, it's got plenty of cash. It's got plenty of cash, and one of the things that it states in it is that the money that they wanted to raise, what were they going to do with it? 24% of it was going to be cash in the bank. Cash in the bank's great. It doesn't do anything for you, but so I'm not poo-pooing their business model or whatever, but I think there's sort of very ropey stuff with that, if I'm being totally honest. But again, wish them all the success in the world. But yeah, when Irish distillers is only growing by 1%, making claims about 9% compounded growth is probably a bit of a stretch, Anyway, it is what it is. But fingers crossed, everybody that put money in it get plenty out of it, Anyway, best of luck to them. Just it seems to me that it wouldn't be something I would have put $8,500 in, if I'm honest. But there you go. Anyway, next up, do you remember our friends over at the Estate Whisky Alliance? The single estate guys?
Yes.
Well, they've launched, and it's now finally admitted. That makes it sound as if it's guilt. It's finally revealed who their 7 founding members are. So the 7 founding members are Maker's Mark, Heaven Hill, Black Folks, Hill Rock Estate, 1,000 Acres, Peterson's, and Western Kentucky Distillery. And these are the 7 founding members who have helped set the whole thing up. Now, I always find that UK's Estate Whisky Alliance, that's the University of Kentucky, okay? So this first time I read the thing, I didn't realise it was the University of Kentucky. I thought it was just something that was UK. This is not. This is, as we talked to them about, this is something that they want to do across, make it a certifiable
it was sort of a closely guarded secret who actually was behind it when we talked to them.
That's true. They said that they couldn't reveal it at that point, but now they have. They've revealed it out. And a couple of real big hitters there, Maker's Mark and Heaven Hill. Michael's Mark have just announced a £19 million expansion. I mean, they're doing really well. And good on them, because the Maker's Mark, I tell you, the store picked bottling I tasted not that long ago was fucking fabulous stuff. Evening in Stanley with Kit Charles. I assume you mean good evening. I'm in Stanley's with Kit Charles.
Something like that.
I'm going to suggest, Christopher, that Sophie's picking you up tonight, buddy. I'm just hazarding a guess, because I think you've had a wee happen or two there, buddy.
Yes, Frank definitely has.
Aye, 15-year-old single malt bush. Good. That's a nice one. It's a nice one, that, actually. It's really nice. Aye. I was going to say something about that 15-year-old. It's the one. It's reasonably priced. Do you remember they brought out the 25 and the 30, and everybody's like, "Sorry, what price is that?" They brought out the 14 and the 15, and they're actually reasonably priced. So yeah, good on you, Frank. But yeah, so the single estate guys, I know they're kind of wanting to build it up as a program and as a like a certification of guarantee. There you go. Aye. Good evening, gents. September 14, Great Whisky Day in Pie Bar, Dundrum, Dublin 14. Check it out. Big JJ. Yeah.
We've just told everybody, Big JJ, remember to comment, like, and share if you're watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, Telegram, and whatever platform you get your social media from. We're on most of them.
Yeah, well, put like this: if anybody, I'll not be making it, because we're working every day in September. But something in the Pie Bar in Dundrum. So go and check that out. Could be a good day. And Darren's on the 15-year-old bush. There must have been a seal on it, Justin. Huh? Was there a seal on it somewhere?
We must have missed that one.
No, well, you know what I'm on tonight? I went and had a wee shop for something. I've never tasted it. I was told it was very nice, and I bought Thompson Brothers, taking the piss out of Tesco's bottling.
Okay.
Dornoch Distillery was founded. Blah 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 blah. This blended malt. A duo of North Highland malt whiskies, which, as far as I know, was it Clynelish? Someone told me it was. Anyway, very nice it is too. It's 36 quid a bottle or something. The Thompson Brothers. This is the second batch one. I never actually got to taste the first batch, but I'd heard very good reports about it. So yeah, nice mouthfeel to it. Tasty enough. It's very nice. Next up.
How do they get away with that, ripping off Tesco's value item? How do they do that?
Well, I don't know. But they don't mention Tesco's or anything like that, so I don't know. But obviously it must have got passed by the lawyers. I'm sure if Tesco's do anything, all they do is turn around and say, "Oh, it's only blue and white." Cheddar crisps used to be the same, you know. So they sort of were. True. You know, so
I don't remember cheddar crisps, Marty. I don't know what you're talking about.
I did on. Used to buy them with a van load for folks. Cheddar crisps. Aye. But no. So that's now up and running. They've revealed who their partners are. A couple of fairly artisan distilleries and a couple of big heavy hitters. So that'll be a nice spread. One of them's a Canadian as well. So they were. So there's a Canadian distillery there too. So so they're now getting that up and running, and we'll see whether or not it's got legs. So hopefully it does. Yeah, hopefully it runs on, because it's a guarantee for consumers, you know, which is always a nice thing.
Lovely.
Next up, I don't get this. It's Keeper's Heart Whiskey, and celebrate halfway to St. Patrick's Day, where they're wanting to do these like events on 17th of October in various bars in Boston, in Chicago, New York, Tampa, and Minnesota. and so on. So a whole pile of events to mark that it's halfway to St. Paddy's Day. So yeah, that was kind of, whenever I saw it, I was like, I'm not really getting why this would. This isn't just as bad as, remember the other week we were talking about the guy who brought out the guys who brought out the bottling that celebrates the potato famine. I don't get the concept. I don't really understand this either.
Why do they not just do, if they want to do a whiskey, why don't they do St. Andrew's Day if they want another day? And then do Pandera and do St. David's Day.
No, right, Justin. Right, you're not getting this, Justin. Right, this is a company called Keeper's Heart. Right. Why would they do a Pandaren Day when Pandaren is a different company? Right. See, this is possibly why you're not a business minded, Justin, because you're not really getting this. Right. This is a company doing the promotion. See the way they're holding the bottle of the Keeper's Heart whiskey. This is Keeper's Heart.
There's only one St. Patrick's Day. You can't do halfway St. Patrick's Day. That's
no. I think it's a bit crap. I just don't understand the concept. I don't even know that they're doing exclusive specials and they're partnered with top pubs and they're doing all this kind of shit. I think it's just a crap concept. You know what it's like? Do you remember Guinness done Arthur's Day a while back? Remember his birthday? Yeah, it was a pile of shit. Like, it was just stupid. So I mean, I don't know. I just why do they not just hold tastings and give a bit of a promotion? I don't get the concept at all.
I don't get his suit either. It looks like something that Patrick Keatley would wear on the Late Late Show on St. Paddy's Day.
Yeah, it's just no
madness.
It's a bit crap. The whole thing just doesn't really work, I don't think. But anyway, so it's c'est la vie. Now, Jim Beam. Got something there. And Jim Beam are bringing out, and I like this concept now. I think this is different because this is Little Book Bourbon. It's an infinite blend of whiskey. So what they're doing is they're bringing out a bottle, and it's really to do with the nose, the Freddie No, Booker No, the distillers down there, and the Infinite Edition one is a blend of aged bourbons that will have a new component added to it every year, essentially making it an infinity blend. So the idea is they have blend this one up, and then what they do is they keep a batch of it and then put their next one in, and then they use amount of it, don't use it all, then they put the third, fourth, and do this annually every year. So what you end up with is this sort of blend that goes on year after year after year. And I quite like this because it kind of has that idea of that infinity touching back to what was done with years and years and years. And, well, you never know how long this goes on. But I think this is one of those ones that could be quite popular. Yeah.
I don't like the presentation of that, but it looks a bit like a wine to me.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're I kind of get that, but I kind of like it as well because it kind of looks a bit classy. It's a bit too winey, yeah, but it's a bit different. It looks a bit classy. Doesn't look like an ordinary Jim Beam bottle. Maybe that's not the worst thing. They maybe want to distance this a little bit from that and give it a bit of presentation. I like the concept. And it kind of harks on this sort of constantly changing thing,
Okay.
But still retaining what you had. So I kind of like that. Now, next up, Bowmore, the oldest distillery on Islay, has done a bit of a makeover as well, and a couple of different new releases. So they've gone back to black kind of thing. It kind of looks like the Bowmore Black. Bowmore Sherry Oak Cask Collection harnesses the role of European oak sherry casks in revealing more distinctive layers of depth and flavour, combining the very best Islay with the best sherry houses to deliver indulgently sweet yet perfectly balanced character. Now, this, Bowmore can't be very hit and miss. I've tasted some really good Bowmores and I've tasted some sort of mediocre ones. Well, I say mediocre being generous. But at the same time, they are a big name Islay distillery with a massive heritage, and now that they're doing they're doing kind of reinventing themselves a little bit. So they're doing this, introducing the sherry oak. Then they have, if you scroll down, the Master Selection Edition 4, which is a bit of a silly tie up with Aston Martin. Which I don't really get. I don't understand. Ardbeg this week was voted the best whiskey experience or something. And Ardbeg it's owned by LVMH, Louis Vuitton, all that kind of stuff. And I was in it with Julie earlier on in the year. And it kind of is all funky art stuffy thing.
You thought it was OTT, didn't you?
Well, it's not even if it was OTT. It just looks out of place, You're in the arsehole of nowhere. When you're at Ardbeg, you're in a very remote island in Scotland, but it's all done out like Picasso done the paint job on it and all that kind of stuff. I don't really understand how that works. I'm not. I didn't do the experience that won the best in the world, but I kind of know what it would be like, and I just, whenever you get like a boxer who is a bit past it, a bit over the top, trying to make a bit of money by, I don't know, doing
aftershave commercials.
Well, it's not even that. It's like wrestling or something. Something that they could have been good at in their prime, but haven't really done it right. And it gets about $1 million worth of publicity, or $20 million worth of publicity, and it's like Muhammad Ali fought a Japanese wrestler one time, and this was in the 1970s. It was after he beat Joe Frazier the second or the third time. And Ali went to take on this wrestler, and the wrestler just lay on his back trying to kick Ali the whole time. And people were, this was in the 70s, and they're paying like $5,000 to watch it. It's kind of like that. You've got this real talent doing sort of weird things with it that it's not really supposed to be doing, It's like a dancing bear or something. It's that kind of way. So I just know this, and this kind of thing, that's not what Bowmore really should be doing. Again, you've this wee remote distillery that's a big name, but it's excess water, it's excess steam is used to heat the swimming pool next door, and yet they're tied up with Aston Martin. Do you know what I mean? It's just just doesn't seem to sell. Anyway, if you scroll down the next one, they have another one, the Bowmore Ark 52-year-old Mokume edition. Now, it doesn't give you a price for that one, but one of the Bowmore Arks previously, now this sort of cap was designed by Aston Martin. There's only like, I don't know.
It looks like the lithium crystals, but it also reminds me of the Lucozade logo. Look at that there.
No, it's not far away from it.
It's not far away from it. Lucozade, Suntory, go after them.
The only thing I would say is that one of these Bowmore Ark bottlings sold for something like 250,000, some ridiculous amount of money.
Do you know what I'd rather have? I'd rather have an Aston Martin and a boat for that kind of money.
Yeah. Aye, it's just a bit odd. Again, I'll never be drunk. It's a collectible thing. People pay whatever they want. I quite like the design of the bottle, if I'm honest, but it's not for whiskey. Just like the design of it, it's like modern art, but that's what it's supposed to be. But yeah, but if you scroll back up to the other stuff in Bowmore, those sherry cask bottlings, I wouldn't mind trying a couple of them, because it might be actually quite pleasant. But you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Now, let me see what else is there. We've got a long liver. We do.
Do we? Okay. Mm-hmm. I will look for the long liver.
It's a photograph.
Oh, right. I have a photograph.
Yes. Yeah, you have a photograph.
Yeah.
Because the Benbecula, I think it is maybe pronounce it, it's a Scottish island. And they have made Joe McCulloch. Okay, Joe McCulloch. Aye, that's not him. I need a picture.
Where do you find the picture?
No, well, Joe McCulloch is just turned 100 years of age, and him and his family apparently were in a shop when they discovered Benbecula, new make. I rather suspect it was no.
Oh. Hold on.
Aye, I think we'll just skip it.
All right. No, talk away. Did we need to find it? I did download it. It was the only picture you sent tonight, wasn't it?
It was.
Let's see. Gmail. Gmail.
Anyway, that's how the boy turned 100, and they have made him an honorary member of the Benbecula Society. He's a former Spitfire pilot during World War II.
Aha! That is it, but it's the wrong one that's loading. That's weird. No. Real weird.
Anyway, he I sent you a Facebook page. Just put out.
No, I definitely have it. It's just not the right one loading.
No, well, anyway, he has now been made a member. Now, this Benbecula distillery, Benbecula is a tiny little island on the Outer Hebrides. And, yeah. So he says he loves the taste of the new make and looks forward to drinking the actual spirit. So I kind of like all that. Nice guy who has set this up. This little distillery is in the Outer Hebrides, and it just looks beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Although, honestly, I've just drove around Scotland this week, and I have to say, Scotland looked fabulous this week. It just
because the weather was good.
Well, it was good and rough, and then it was bad, and then it was better, and it was rough, and it was good, and it was lovely.
I actually applied for a job in Benbecula once. Do you know that?
Did you get it?
You guessed correct, Marty. You win a free tour of Scotland.
Yes. They didn't. You didn't get it. What was the job you applied for, Justin?
Radio station presenter, an Oost, which is above Benbecula. But it was a poison chalice because I think the person that got it eventually actually died.
And so basically, well,
I know you can make it up. You can make it. The curse killed somebody else.
Justin lost out to somebody that was dead. They preferred him to present radio than Justin.
No, they died. They died a few years after that. He couldn't make it up. Actually, I had a fighter pilot on tour this week. Actually,
did he?
I did. He was an Indian fighter pilot. Oh. He fought in the 1971 war between India and somewhere. Was it Bangladesh then? I can't remember.
And they fought war. I was going to say, is that not the time they fought China?
No, I don't think. I think we know if they fought China.
Oh no, India and China had a war.
All right, did they?
So they did. It was as late as 1970. But anyway, India and China had a war at one point. But no, an Indian fighter pilot. Not to cast aspersions on the good people of the nation of India, but I rather suspect that the plane that entered Indian airspace would be in and out and away by the time the Indians actually arrived. Having worked with them many a times, not as much as you, but they do tend to turn up ever so slightly late to stuff, you know. I'm just pouring myself a Glengarry 12. Which I bought because my good friend Jim has done a thing about 12-year-old Scottish whiskey. I think it was all Scotch as far as I know. And I did a wee thing for him, and I wanted to do a Glengarry. But yeah, excellent stuff. So good on Joe McCulloch, and I hope it all goes well for him. Hope he's about to taste the 20-year-old Temecula stuff.
Connor says Pakistan, was it?
Could have been.
Could have been.
Hang on, India, China war. Sino-Indian War was 1962. They were at war.
All right. Arthur's Day was great. Guinness was half price in some bars and free if you were local. That's why it stopped. It was considered the approach to encourage alcohol consumption. All alcohol promotions encourage alcohol consumption.
Aye, the disaster. I think the whole thing was a bit of a farce, from what I can remember. But yeah.
Oh, we have the exact reference. I always like a good reference. There you go. It was Indo-Pakistan War of 1971. There you go.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Connor. Thank you very much. Now, the last one we're going to talk about is this goes to show you just what some of these things are doing. There's a single cask company, an independent bottler in Scotland, have brought out a charity bottling. This is for charity, to raise money for the Drinks Trust, which is a charitable organisation. It's a 10-year-old single cask Tianinic, distilled on the 30th of January 2014, cask strength 57.5, 54 bottles of this in the entire world to raise money for charity. And price, £79. I sent you the link.
You did? And I've done it twice. And we're going to do it again a third time. Here we go. The drink. Sure. Does it come?
Nope.
What on earth is that doing? That's the bizarrest thing ever.
Well, this is the second thing we've had to use. And it's still not working. But anyway, the single cask company, great stuff that they are, and they've brought out a 10-year-old Tianinic, which I can assure you that'll be fantastic. For 79 quid, and there is only 54 bottles of it. Yeah, that'll be fantastic. So probably whenever I get off air, I'll probably jump on and just buy maybe one or two of them for myself, because that'll be lovely. A really nice whiskey. But yeah, again, goes to show you, if you were buying a single cask 10-year-old Irish whiskey, I mean, the money that they're charging for them is just unrealistic. Let's put it like that for some of them. Whenever it's being put up against that kind of thing.
I was thinking about this during the week, and I know you say I shouldn't think, but is it because they do the volume in Scotland that they can afford to put them out at this price compared?
Probably,
yeah,
probably. The thing about it is, it doesn't matter whether when the average consumer who walks into a shop is looking at a 10-year-old single cask whiskey or something a bit special, you're going to be hard pushed to push something from over here that'll be twice the price. No, it's not, Linda. They are casks. They're like pineapple cask things. If you zoom in, they're casks, but they're done like pineapples. The Madeira wine barrel is what this was aged in. So yeah, it'll be all fresh and fruity and whatnot. That's the idea, I think. But yeah, it's not pineapples. It's supposed to look like pineapples, but it's casks. Yep, Darn Flakes is the single cask we had in Stanley's the other week was Lush. It was an 8-year-old Tianinic. This is a 10-year-old. So yeah, I would strongly suggest buying one of those. There isn't that many of them, and at £80, it's a bit of a bargain, to be honest. But yeah, it'd be lovely. But put the link up for that if you can, Justin.
I can indeed. Here we
so
go.
people can go and have a wee look at it. Remember, that's the all process, which gave great price helping the charity. So it's hard not to fucking think that'd be a bargain, you know.
There you go. You should be able to see that.
Yeah. 10-year-old Tianinic. Lovely, lovely, lovely stuff. Anyway, give me 1 second. So that's all the news this week. All done.
There we go.
There we go. All done. So we round up, and the news, everything's a bit sort of all over the place this week because, well, I'm still working away. So I haven't as much time to sit and go over stuff. But the one thing, I'll tell you what, I sent you over a couple of photos of bars, whiskey bars. And tonight I was in the one in the Royal Mile. My head's away with the Alba. What do you call it? The Alba. Fuck, can't even remember the name of it.
That's bad, Marty. No, that is bad.
Let me see. What's the fucking name of the bar? The Almanac. I couldn't remember it. The Almanac. Just on the Royal Mile, just opposite the Indian place, with the food. And it says outside the door that it is 300 whiskies. Inside, the staff are very pleasant, very nice. Outside, it's quite a nice bar on the outside. It's also got a great location. But does that make it a good whiskey bar? I'm not 100% sure. And the prices are actually quite reasonable. Now, I sent you a photo of it on the outside. All right.
On the outside, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. I have it. Yes, I have it. There's something really weird going on tonight. Why in the hell is that not there? Okay, work away, talk away, talk amongst yourself. Yes.
Anyway, the bar looks fantastic on the outside. It's in a great location, just on the Royal Mile, as I say, and it's got a big selection of whiskies. Now, when I say big selection, pretty much all Scotch, and rightly so. And the prices are not bad, but it's a chain whiskey. It's one of them Green King pubs. Although you wouldn't see it, the only way you really know is whenever you log in. And that's what I want to know. What do people think? Does that make it a good? Is it a good whiskey bar at that, or not?
There we go. There we go. Have you frozen?
No.
No.
I'm just waiting on this coming up.
It's come up. Come up. It's only come up at your end now. Do you know why it didn't show tonight there? Because it's a long picture.
Right. Okay. But anyway, as you can see, the bar is busy. The staff are nice enough. I don't know how knowledgeable they are, as such, but it's a nice enough bar. But is that a good enough thing for a whiskey bar? Is it?
I don't know. I mean, a bar like that's bound to be trading on its location on the Royal Mile, Marty, is it not? And it must have massive overheads.
We'll put it like this: they advertise that they've got 300 whiskies, which is, a massive collection of stuff. But ambience and knowledge and selection in no particular order. It needs all three. Yeah, I think those are three things. But selection. Do you need a big selection to be a good whiskey bar? That's another point. I mean, The Whiskey House in San Diego, which was in last year, has 4,000 whiskies. But I mean, the biggest selection of any bar in the world. Is it a great whiskey bar? In some ways, absolutely. But you're going to attract a huge amount of poncy people that you're probably not that keen on listening to. Whereas if you go to just a wee local bar that has a dozen whiskies, a couple of really nice ones at a reasonable price, is that not probably a better whiskey bar in some ways? Selection is one thing. I was sitting thinking, because I've been thinking this over in my head, and it's kind of hard to know. Like, why are we away now?
We're not away.
Right. Varied or interesting is better than volume. Yeah, I think so. Basically, want to try something I haven't tried before. I kind of was thinking this the other day, that if you're billing yourself as a kind of whiskey bar, do you need your own bottling? Do you need something that you can, like a bottles, a bar select bottling? And I kind of hit on the thing. Yeah, I think maybe you do. Where are we?
And down the bottom, we've changed shape. Well, that's all. Because it's going berserk.
So these are some of the. This is the bottles that were on the shelf, in the place, and they are not expensive. You can pick up a Glendronach 12 for £6.35, which is not a bloody good price for it, to be honest. Tamdhu 12 for £5.50. What else is there? I only took a couple of quick photos. A Ball Blair 18-year-old is £15, which is not bad, not bad at all. So the decor's quite nice, selection's quite good. Location's ideal, let's be honest. I mean, the Gold Mile, you want to pick up a huge volume of trade. There's always going to be a buzz in it, but there's no local buzz in it. And does it need that? If you, this is my argument. If you go to a bar that's a whiskey bar and you travel to go to it, you're not a local.
It's a bit like the Crown in Belfast. It used to be locals on a Friday afternoon, but now it's all tourists, Marty. So it works, but it's working in a different way. And White's is the same, McHugh's is the same. It's because there used to be a bar for every 300 people in Belfast, and 300 people from Belfast don't go to a bar now. I would say most of the bars have tourists in them now.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, right? If a bar is billing itself as a whiskey bar, I mean, if I go into the Pot Still Bar in Glasgow, which I think possibly is the best whiskey bar in the world, I've been in quite a few, but I think that's probably the best of my favourite of them all, I think. But whenever you pop your head in there, I'm not a local. But if you go in and there's a nice buzz about it, and you've got some tourists in it, but the guys behind the bar know what they're talking about, and you get chatting to them, and you're made to feel like, oh no, I'll help you pick a whiskey. Do you need to be a local? Do you understand what I mean? If people if it's a good enough bar and people are going that are interested in whiskey, that's fine. If there's too big a selection of stuff, then
you're spoiled for choice.
You're kind of spoiled for choice, and you're probably not going to get exactly what you're looking for. So it's kind of hard to know. But I would call Still Bar in Glasgow probably my favourite.
I like it, but it could do with air conditioning. It's just too warm, even in winter.
No, and I'll tell you another thing. Does a good pub need to do food? I'm asking Justin McCartney, so obviously he'll say yes.
Well, Wetherspoons would say yes, because half their revenue is food now, isn't it?
Yeah, Wetherspoons are not good pubs. Wetherspoons are for cheap people that don't want to fucking spend any money. Yeah, exactly. Wetherspoons are not good pubs. Wetherspoons serve Wetherspoons serve a purpose, and nobody will tell me they don't. Because if you're walking past and you just fancy a pint, you don't want to pay £18 for a pint. You go into you walk in and buy a craft beer for £2.50. It's like, that'll do me.
Well, the whole thing was this, that the actual Witherspoon's boss was going to spar with Ryanair's boss, because Ryanair says you only should have 2 drinks. You see, you can't have that.
No, you can't really. No, no. So Peter's come up with, no matter the size of the bar or the number of whiskies, it has to be the passion of the owner and the staff. Yeah, I would get that, as long as the people there are whiskey enthusiasts and not there for a photo op.
But Peter, using that logic, is Kelly Cellars going to last because it's been bought over by a conglomerate now?
Well, they're not a conglomerate. They own bars. That's what they do for a trade, and they run some fantastic bars. My favourite bar in Belfast is owned by them. McHugh's is the best bar in Belfast, and the reason it's the best bar in Belfast is because they employ the staff that's in it, and the way they employ them is fantastic. They've got 3 people kind of in charge, and one sort of this triumvirate of people that work, and I can't tell you how much they've helped me out this year, just with things that I've needed them to help me with. Just superb people. And that's McHugh's, and they took over Kelly Cellars, and what they've said is, because I was talking to Michelle, and she says, we're not going to change a big lot about it. There's a reason we bought it over, it's because it works. And it's exactly,
That's true, but I mean, there's Linda Clark says, as long as the people there are whiskey enthusiasts and not there for the photo op. I mean, the Crown is all about the photo op. That's the first thing people do when they walk through the door. Italian and Spanish stuff. They want to take.
I mean, the Crown's a great bar. I don't care what anybody says. It's very touristy. Yeah, again, it's one of these. You do this bit and this bit drops, but then this bit goes up. This bit. So the Crown, I'd argue the Crown is one of I would say it's in the top 5 most beautiful bars I've ever been in my life. And I've been in thousands of them. Genuinely been in thousands of bars. It's absolutely stunning. But the tourist element sort of, it's a bit too touristy. It does this. But if you get into one of the snugs, suddenly it goes this again. Very hard to get into one of the snugs, but if you do get into one of them, you've a private part in one of the most beautiful bars, busy thing. So there's a bit of this. It's owned by the National Trust. They're a bunch of cunts. Let's be honest. They are. They're just awful. But pardon my language, by the way. But I mean, the thing is, it's up and down. The Kaleidoscope Bar in Edinburgh, the guys that are in there, SMWS, Scotch Malt Whisky Society, and the guys in there will know as much about whiskey as any person in the world. That's what they do. For a living. But is it a great whiskey bar? Probably not, because you go in and they're trying to appeal to a certain demographic. You take their whiskey flights and they do they nose and they do all the stuff and all that kind of stuff. That's okay for a very brief period of time. I mean, give me a local bar where you can go get a pint of Guinness and a Black is a better whiskey bar necessarily than the Kaleidoscope.
It's a different market. It's a different market. I mean, I like that experiential thing of the aficionado tasting the stuff and flights, but I also like the crack that you can have in somewhere like the Potstill.
But that's what I'm trying to say. What makes a good bar, a good whiskey bar? Because it's not an easy thing to come up with. There's a certain. It's really quite complicated. Now, the tipsy midge that's over here, apparently, I haven't managed to get to it, is supposedly the guy who runs it's an absolute whiskey nutter. But I'll maybe take a run over to it.
What you're saying is there's a je ne sais quoi that makes an excellent whiskey bar. Is that what you're saying, Marty?
But it's not easy to put your finger on it. And if you go into a bad bar with good company, if you go in with 3 or 4 mates and have a laugh and a giggle, any bar can be good, right? if you go in with 3 or 4, if you go in with 3 or 4 mates into a bar and they've good selection and they've got reasonable prices, because let's be honest, that's a key point in it. You can have a really good selection. If the prices is up to here, it's a non-starter. But then you go over to if the barmaid or the boy behind the bar are good fun and know what they're talking about, that adds to it as well. So what's people who are on his what's your favourite whiskey bar? I mean, the Bon Accord in Glasgow is, a lot of people would say it's the best whiskey bar in the world. I would argue no. It's not, I've been in it loads of times, and it's got a great selection. The guys know their stuff. There's people come in that know their stuff. It just doesn't do it for me, if I'm honest. The pot still's a bit. I prefer the pot still. Here we go. I mean, Darren saying must get run over to Londonderry Arms. See what it's like. Well, I haven't been to it in years. Looking forward to see the big plans on the horizon. Well, the thing is, I know Darrell and Adrian, and I know the plans they have. And nobody knows more about whiskey than Darrell McNally. I mean, he made it for years and years and years. I mean, there's a lot of guys sort of circle around talking about stuff. Darrell knows the whiskey industry. He knows how to make it. I mean, the guy's very clever, but can he make a good whiskey bar? And that's a slightly different thing. There is just a certain something that makes a whiskey bar. Michael Matthews, a combination of great owner who gets the best staff to make your time in the premises memorable. It's that simple. Yeah, but what if you walk in by yourself? You walk in by yourself, and I kind of get the staff. So whoever's there should make you feel welcome. And if the staff there, they make your time memorable. Yeah, I kind of agree with you there, Michael. Yeah. Does decor? Here's another thing. Does decor make any difference? And I would argue, absolutely, absolutely. Because if you walk into a bar, I'll give you an example. If you walk into the Duke of York and you wander around, if you're a whiskey aficionado, you can just wander around the Duke of York with all the bottles in the glass cases, with all the mirrors and all the stuff in it, and you could go through a whole pile of stuff, and you just enjoy the atmosphere, just enjoy the decor. You could spend an hour reading the decor and looking at the bottles that he has.
I had Indians this week, and that's where they wanted to go.
Yeah, why would you know that? I had Americans all week, and they were heading to Belfast tonight, and I told them, go and take a night out in Belfast. Number one, go, if you want a bit of music, go to Fibber McGee's. Go early, go there, get a bit of music. Then go over to the Duke, go and get a drink. Then go round to McHugh's. Be a little bit quieter in McHugh's than it probably will be in the Duke. And if you want the best Guinness in Belfast, probably go to John Biddle. And I told the whole bus that. So hopefully the whole bus arrived into Biddle's.
and asked for a Coke.
I warned him. I said, don't ask him for a soft drink. It'll go mental. But no, as I say, it's very hard to figure out what makes a really good whiskey bar. I've been troubled with this for over a week, and I cannot get kind of a definitive answer. The Palace or Searsons, the Palace, yeah, I like the Palace Bar in Fleet Street in Belfast, or in Dublin, sorry. Yeah, the Palace Bar has a really nice atmosphere to it. Lovely decor, great location, prices aren't ridiculous. But it's kind of difficult to figure it out. Yeah, I've been playing me really trying to get. If I could come up with a list for this, I would have had a list. But I genuinely have been trying to figure this out for a period of time, and I just cannot get it. Because the problem, here's another quick point, because I was thinking this as well. if you go into a whiskey bar, and when you go into the whiskey bar, one of the staff tells you something that you know is not right. It's a bit like a tour guide, because that's essentially what they're doing. They're guiding you through the whiskey. And whenever you go into a whiskey bar and somebody tells you something that you know's not right, and it might be a minor thing, that they tell you that, I don't know, that Edredauer produce 1,000 casks a week or a day or whatever, right? And you know that's not true, right? Or that they tell you that this bottle's definitely available in the US, and you know that it's not because they don't make enough to send it across the US. Your confidence at that point in their knowledge just kind of dissipates because you think, well, they don't actually know what they're talking about. And that's the problem when you've got experts. I mean, everybody gets stuff wrong. I mean, God knows, whenever I'm guiding, I get dates mixed up every so often. You just do. It's just one of them things. And that's kind of the problem in that as well. If somebody sets themselves up as a whiskey bar, then they need to know everything that they say is 100% right. And you'll never get that. So if you have a bar that's just a bar that kind of specializes in whiskey, is that a better place? And honestly, it's fucking hard to figure out what makes a good whiskey bar. Willie Ahern runs a great pub, whiskey or good pints. Yeah, the Palace Bar. Funny, I was talking to a guy whose opinion I would definitely respect, and he said to me about what's your favourite whiskey bar in Dublin, and it was the Palace Bar. I came off the top of my head. There are a couple other ones. That bar 1661 does the Poachine, but it also does quite a decent whiskey selection. That's a nice one. There's a couple in Dublin. Yeah, there's a couple in Dublin. Belfast. It's not a brilliant selection in Belfast, if I'm honest. You really, in order to get them, you really have to come to Scotland. Edinburgh has a few. Glasgow has some really nice ones. But yeah, but it is. It's kind of, honestly, if anybody could do me up a list of like 10 things that makes a really good whiskey bar, I'd be really impressed. It's hard to know. It's really hard to know.
People think Lavery's is like really old when they go into it, and they don't realize it's mostly plastic. It's like Irish bars overseas. They buy the stuff off the internet and they put it in and they dress it up.
The Bankers in Dublin. Have I ever been in the Bankers, Michael? I may have been, but I can't remember it, buddy. Where's the Bankers Bar, Michael? Where's the Bankers Bar?
Is that over the south side, way out near one of the stadiums?
Oh, I don't know. I need him to tell me because I may have been in it. I've spent a bit of time in Dublin, but I try and avoid it if I can, if I'm totally honest. but no, Belfast. I mean, the Duke of York always wins. I think the best whiskey bar in Belfast, but it doesn't have a huge amount of competition. Just off Dame Street. Is it up near the castle? Because I think I might have been there. I think I've been on it. Maybe it's where when you walk in the door, you smile instead inside and breathe a big sigh of relief. You feel at home. Yeah. I'll tell you what I love about a bar. I mean, Peter, that kind of boils down to its location, decor, ambience. I mean, the first thing's going to be location, because if a bar is miles away and you have to drive to it, that's kind of a no-no these days. You hate to take somebody that's not drinking or to get a taxi or whatever. So location has to be a factor. When you get up to it, how it looks, when you look at the front of it, when you open the door, how it looks, has to be a factor. And when you go in, the ambience straight away. If you walk in and it's one of them cowboy bars, ding 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 ding, and they just shut up and look at you. Time to go. And then after that, there's a selection come into effect. You go up and you've got a great selection. And then does price come into it after that? What's the order that you take it in? If it goes tick, 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 does that make a great whiskey bar? And I would argue that that's probably what it is. If it's in a good location, if it's got nice decor, if when you walk in, there's a nice ambience in it. The decor carries over, nice, inviting front, or something that's attractive about the front of it. When you walk in, decor, ambience, selection, and then price. Because if you walk in and it's got a great selection of stuff, something a bit obscure, but it's costing an arm and a leg, you might buy one and say, I'm not paying rip-off prices. One of the reasons I love the pot still, one of the things I love about the pot still is they do a malt of the month, dead cheap, for like £3 for a half or whatever, and it's normally a decent whiskey. And God, good on them.
There you go. Totally a girl thing, but hooks under the bar to hang a purse is a big plus.
Linda, you see a bar that doesn't have a brass reel for me to put my foot on? That's another fucking thing. Does it have a brass reel that when I'm standing at the bar, I can put my foot on it? Honestly,
because you can't stand flat-footed the whole night, can you? Really?
No, honestly, that's not even standing flat-footed the whole night. When I go up, I want to put my foot on a brass bar. That tells me that somebody has thought about it. Some of the best bars I have ever drank in around Ireland have been the worst jacks you've ever seen. Exactly. My local, the bar I normally drink in, has about 4 whiskies, and none of them's great, but they've Blackbush and great pints of Guinness. The landlord can be atrocious. Genuinely. I've seen him tell people who have made very reasonable requests to go and fuck themselves, right? It's just, it just kind of works, and it's very hard. But I think if you're going to a new bar, I went to Mulroy's in Soho in London because it was billed as being the best whiskey bar in London. I'm going to say it's not great.
It was all fur coat, no niggers, was it?
I wouldn't even say that. It was wherever you walk in, they've got a reasonable selection of stuff, but it's in London, so you've got to pay a bloody fortune for everything. The crowd in it, they were okay. Yeah, I'm not. But yeah, as I say, it's hard to know, especially if you're going to be specific about a whiskey bar. A really good bar is hard enough. A really good whiskey bar is again, it's like you've got the Premier League and then you've got the Champions League. It's kind of a different thing, but similar. But I think a good bar really should have reasonable location so that it's accessible. Then it should have nice frontage or decor, or something about it. It can look like a shithole, but when you walk in, it looks fabulous, or kind of the way a good bar sometimes should look. When you walk in, it kind of looks as if it's somewhere you shouldn't be. Do you know what I mean? The entries are beginning to change. It used to be the entry bars in Belfast, whenever you went into them and you came out, it was all quiet and dark and narrow and dingy, and you walked out onto High Street and suddenly the noise popped up and you went,
was like a speakeasy. Is that what you're saying? Yes.
Well,
yes,
it's kind of like whenever you go on and do it, it's like somewhere you shouldn't be, which is really cool. And now they're all opening up and putting big bright lights on them and music and blah blah. It's like, guys, that's not what that should be like, Dick Max. I've been in Dick Max and Dingle. Yeah, that's a great bar as well. The Dingle Bar in Dublin, nice place. What's the other one I love? The Ulysses Bar. Davy Burns. I like Davy Burns Bar because it's mentioned in Ulysses. I hate the decor. I hate the way it's kind of like a kind of trendy bar thing. I got it. It's where lots of the patrons are drinking whiskey. Yeah, that's a good one too. If you walk in, everybody's drinking whiskey. Right? I'm in a good whiskey bar. But do you understand? It's really, really complicated. And it's hard and it's personal preference and all that. but I think I've got a kernel of a list. Location, decor and decoration, ambience, selection, and then price, in that order of how you it does. Because if at any one of those stages, if it's in a bad location, you'll not go. If you walk up and it's kind of like a, I don't know, like a caravan, it's like one of them murder caravans, look to it. You go, Jesus, they haven't spent much on that. Then you go in and the people go ding, 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 stop and look at you. You're like, this ain't the place for me. And you walk up and they got one whiskey. You go, that's shit. And then that one whiskey's £100 a shot. It's like all of these is done before. So I kind of think that's where we're going, Right, where are we here? I got it. Twitter. Julie says, "What about the one you have to hike to in the Highlands?" The one. Well, you can take a boat, or it's a 3-day hike. I would love a whiskey in that bar, if I'm totally honest. Because if you have to hike 3 days to go and get it, it would be fucking well worth it. even Conor McGregor's Pro 12 at that point would probably.
I've seen that one. I've seen the video. That one. That looks really cool one to get to.
Yeah. I don't see you walking 3 days to go anywhere, Justin. That's if there's a plane would take you in and they done food, you might be happy enough for that.
I'm sure they do snacks. I'm sure they do nuts. I'm sure they do nuts.
Michael says, "Have you read Ulysses? You need to try to understand that." And I have tried. Michael, I've read Ulysses about 4 times. Spectacular book. Spectacular. You can't. I always take tourists around and say to them, if you want to really understand Dublin, at a certain point, read Ulysses. And the best way to do it is listen to it, get an audio book. And the one that the BBC done with Niamh Cusack is the one that I would recommend. But yeah, again, I know this is a bit of a rambly topic, but people, if anybody can tell me what they think the best whiskey bar is and why, even if you're watching this in the later point, feel free to comment and let us know, because it's not easy. I keep saying all these lists because I was Googling, best whiskey bar, and I came up with the 12 best whiskey bars, but it doesn't actually give you why they think this. And I think it's probably the local tourist board has probably just shoved it to them. I think that's probably what it is. But anyway, if anybody can tell me, I have to just give my definitive, at the moment, favourite whiskey bar is probably still the Pot Still Bar in Glasgow. I think it's one.
There you go. What a show this week. A lot of people scanning the QR code. We'll probably be back on this other system next week if we can get it working. But we didn't change anything. I just was feeling absolutely shit last week. Yeah. And we weren't going to do it. And then we were going to do it. And then I just was physically and mentally exhausted. So sorry about that. We usually have backup shows in the can, but we've used them all up. The chocolate one, we've used them all up. So
it's just this. This kind of feels like the first proper summer since COVID. Last year was busy, but it's kind of like the first proper summer where you're kind of busy the entire summer, And I feel a bit tired. I know you feel tired. And I was talking to a couple other guys, and they're like fucking haggard. You
got to remember you're 5 years older.
Oh, well, that's cheered me up no end there, Justin. Thanks very much.
I'm just saying.
Oh no, thanks very much for that. That's it's not that I'm actually working every day. Where the last previous number of years I haven't been because of COVID. It's because I'm fucking old. That's basically what you're saying. Thanks very much, Justin.
Sorry.
That's cheered me up no end. Dr. Justin.
Too much Murray was with the Cowboys. I know.
Yeah. Aye. Oh, mad. But guys, listen, thanks very much for joining us. And if anybody can give me, 5 points that what makes a really good whiskey bar, I'll be really impressed. But thanks very much for listening to us rambling on.
Okay. Great stuff. Same time, same place next week. Where are you next week? Back in Edinburgh or somewhere else?
I think I'm back home next Saturday. I'm back home next Saturday.
All right.
Anyway.
Good night. And
good night.
Good night. And may
right.
and may your hip flask go with you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, right. See you later, guys. Take care.
Night.